Hello, and welcome back to another edition of The Culture Shift with Rosalind Jovan, our podcast aimed at inspiring the leaders of tomorrow, brought to you by Black Enterprise. Here we like to review the success stories of today's tastemakers to encourage those who dare to dream big. Today, we're getting an exclusive announcement about the major partnership between Kirk Franklin's Foyer Soul Recordings and Culture Lab with Insignia Assets and Three Diamonds Entertainment. As part of the monumental Black-owned and operated merger, the gospel star will be appointed the new Chief of Creative Services and serve a hands-on role in new content deals. We'll speak with the decorated gospel sensation about the new venture, his new show Den of Kings, the new music he has on the way, and the huge honor he's set to receive at this year's BET Awards. So join me in welcoming the one and only Kirk Franklin. We are here because you're making a major business announcement, partnership, in a month where you have a lot to celebrate and a lot that you'll be sharing. So you have recently partnered with Insignia Assets, where
Yes.
you will be rolling out new music as well as content in alignment with this partnership. So first, tell us what inspired the partnership and how does this collaboration align with your long-term vision for gospel and entertainment?
It's Black owned. It's Black business.
Yes, it is.
It's from the culture for the culture. It's men of color that are unifying their vision, their assets, their resources, their gifts, their talents to move and push the agenda of inspiration and aspiration forward through the medium of entertainment. Every stream of entertainment we want to seize, we want to engage, we want to transform, we want to communicate through, so that we can be able to have a clear conversation of the bigger things of life, the bigger purpose of life, to be able to point people vertically while creating and curating horizontally.
Wow.
Um,
Yeah.
Three Diamonds, Insignia, Tribal, Kirk Franklin for your soul, Culture Lab. It is a beautiful merger that's going to take all of these different spaces, and we're going to be very, very, very intentional to curate content that has that one goal in mind. But from the heart of the matter, it's still coming from the root and foundation of the agenda of men of color and the things that are passionate and the things that are powerful uh, for us by us.
Period. So, I read in your statement you mentioned it's bigger than business.
Yes.
And would you say that, to unpack that a little bit more as it culminates on a personal and spiritual level, is it rooted in the foundation of Black ownership as well as men in leadership, Black men in leadership?
Yes. I was at the apex of making the decision of what I continue my trajectory with establishments that I've been with for years, which are great establishments, beautiful establishments. And then this opportunity came my way that I was presented to be a part of something that was rooted in the passion of we have to be able to own the spaces that we make for others. And there's still an integral way, there's still a professional and vertical way that's still elevated, that we can be able to have alignments and associations with our people that still get us to the same finish line as we would with any other type of conglomerate.
That's
And the presentation and the passion and the heart behind it all led me to believe that it was going to be the right moment and movement for me.
most definitely. So it's not just an announcement. You really are being hands-on. You're joining Insignia as the Chief of Creative Services.
Yes, yes,
What does
yes.
the role entail and how hands-on will you be across projects?
Well, I'm going to have to pack a lunch every day and get a briefcase and show up
I love
with
it.
with my suit and jacket on top and my boxing shorts at the bottom. No,
Yes.
no, it is a very exciting invitation for me to be able to try to use whatever resources and experiences that I've had uh, to be able to interpret them and to share them with other artists, other outlets, other individuals to be able to keep that agenda moving forward, to be able to take,
Mhm.
by God's grace, my 30 years of experience and um, to help be able to influence and to motivate those, whether they are in front of the camera or behind the camera, to be able to know what the mistakes are, to be able to know what the agenda is, to be able to know what the challenges are, so that we can be able to not have to waste a lot of time making the same mistakes, but we can continue to push forward so that we've already had somebody with the information, the resources, and the mistakes to be able to know what moves need to be made so that we can keep the conversation without having to always take the huddle. Is because the fewer times we take the huddle, the quicker we can move the ball. I
So on
like
the content side, you're
that.
help.
Hold on. That was kind of cute. I told somebody to write that down. That was kind of cute. That was kind of cute.
I didn't know you were this funny though. You
I'm
said
worse. I'm much worse. You have seen that I am holding it all in, but because you put it in, I don't want you to think that I'm off. There's something wrong with me. That I done fell off this stool.
but we'll have you're doing projects, your own content series where we'll be able to see all of this and more. So your new series, Den of Kings, I love the name by the way.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
beautiful name. It's debuting on Father's Day.
Yes.
Very special episode. You have a powerful guest lineup: DC Young Fly, Country Wayne, Lou Young, Devon Ellis. These are all guys we know on the comedy scene, actors.
Yeah.
They're also fathers. What
Yes.
inspired this format, and why did you choose fatherhood as the first topic that you would dive into?
One thing that I've always found that people have been interested and excited about is I am a connoisseur of food. I love gathering people together and just holding court around dinner. I'm the guy that's going to get the private room at the
Mm,
restaurant, and we're going to be there until it shuts down. Right? I'm going to be the one that tips the waiter nice money so we can stick around until 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning having deep, engaging conversations, whether it's politics, or whether it's culture, whether it's religion, or whether it's family, or whether it's heartbreak, or just whatever the subject may be. It has always been a passion of mine, and I've always been told that men and women have always left these environments feeling very inspired and very challenged by them. And so, because of that, we thought, well, why not take that format, the same format as you see men getting together on Drink Champs and having their same type of engagement, but mine is going to be several men, quite a few men, and we're going to do it over food. We have a beautiful house in Atlanta that we built up, and that we had a chef come in and we shot it in very elevated ways, and so it looks like it's straight for the network. I mean, we didn't waste a dime. We hired very elevated production and cameramen, and so it looks like it already belongs. It looks like that we belong in the space, that we're not trying to assimilate, but that we've taken over that moment. And it's just great conversation, great dialogue, and it's funny, it's engaging, and we're not there to preach. It's not a preaching conversation. We're listening, we're laughing, we're crying, we're struggling, we have the tension, we are debating. And it is a beautiful moment to see Black men in this space. The level of vulnerability that you're going to see from this moment is going to be impressive. When the camera stopped rolling, as they were breaking down for the day, we still sat at that table for another 45 minutes.
mm, wow.
Den of Kings is something special.
What do you hope viewers are going to take away from each of the conversations that you're going to have on as this series continues to progress?
The vulnerability of men, the vulnerability of Black men, the secret lives of Black brothers.
I love it. And how does that reflect? How is the show going to reflect the mission of Culture Lab?
It is a space of authenticity. Is that we engage in every moment that's authentic, whether it's music, whether it's politics, or whether it's any subject matter that is stripped down from the space that it always has to be produced, that it always has to be on.
Right.
That Black men often in this culture feel that they always have to be on, right?
Mhm.
They're always having to switch. They're always having to digress, always having to assimilate. And so, whether it's through these musical platforms or whatever, like I'm just working on a song, uh, a gospel song in there right before I jumped on the phone with you that's talking about subject matters that you would not expect A
Mm-hmm.
gospel song. I'm not going to give it to you because when you hear it, I want you to be surprised. But yeah, it's. I think that if we're going to have conversations moving forward that are going to invite people to really, really, really trust that these are safe spaces for them to show up in, there's got
Right.
to be a level of vulnerability and authenticity because if not, they won't show up.
Most definitely. That even I was gonna the next question I was gonna ask you, you just answered it because I wanted to touch on like how the partnership will help bring even gospel music and faith-based content in a way that reaches new audiences. And I think you're continuing to stress that it's just being authentic, being authentically
Yes.
yourself, which is the spiritual journey, right?
Yes, yes, yes. And also knowing that there are conversations that the world is having that the church isn't. Yeah, and they will be left behind if we continue to just make the carbon copy of what we've always done. Is that people are having real questions to real issues that we continue to super spiritualize and just kind to uh, try to erase with prayer. And I think that if we're going to be courageous, if we're going to be the new microphones and the new safety nets for people, if we're going to build the new hospital, then we've got to be able to talk about what really hurts.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Right on time. It's always on time. You mentioned you're working on some new music, but you do have new music dropping um right ahead of just a really big milestone that we're going to get into as well. But the new single "Do It Again,"
Do it again.
June 6th. What
June 6th.
message or moment in your life inspired this song?
Just the career of my life. I mean, for 30 years, there have been moments where I thought, you know, maybe I need to go get a job saying you want paper or plastic, not that extreme, but there have been moments. Well, I don't know, right after September 11th, right after COVID, there were moments that we didn't know what
Yeah.
life was going to look like. And and the music industry is so volatile, right? Everything is built on what you're doing today. And so you end up finding yourself being a human doing versus a human being, right? You're always trying to chase to find out if you can do the next single and the next single. And 30 years, you can only imagine sometimes of that rat race that has not been the most healthiest for my mental and psychological and spiritual, right? And so to be able to see constantly over and over and over again how God surprisingly shows up, and he is the God of again, he's the God of again and again and again. And so I think that it is a very timely message that for a brother that's by the kindness of the Lord, been around for a minute. The statement of do it again, we've seen him do that in my life again and again and again.
Beautiful, beautiful. And so it's coming June 6th. Literally 3 days later, you are going to be honored with the BET Ultimate Icon Award. Such a culmination of, like you said, 30 years. What does that recognition mean to you at this stage of your journey?
Very humbling, very, very, very humbling. Uh, you know, being in the same space of Mariah Carey and Jamie Foxx and Snoop Dogg as a gospel artist, you know, it's like, what are we talking about? What are we doing here? What is this? Are we serious here? And I think that those things they are beyond my imagination. They are things that I could have never ever ever seen coming. And so um it's a very humbling moment. It's a very humbling moment. And I'm truly, truly, truly grateful.
Well, congratulations. Truly deserving, and just thank you for continuing to share and give to us over these last 3 decades. Me myself growing up, I had the first Kirk Franklin album, and I used to listen to it in the shower. And now, even just being a grown woman, a mom, a wife, and you're still making music that resonates with me in my life, and there's so many people that can attest to that. So, just thank
Wow.
you. And when you
No,
look at your body of work, music, mentorship, media, business, what legacy do you hope to leave for the next generation of gospel artists and storytellers?
is that the conversation of God was real and that we did everything we could to keep the relevant, viable conversation of a bigger existence of life and why that's important always in the forefront of culture. that we were never antiquated, we were never archaic, and our agenda and goal that every part of the fabric of mainstream life that we were intentional to be able to infuse the message of the good news of Jesus Christ in every way we could. And we kept it swaggy, we kept it dope, we kept it intentional. We did everything we needed to do to keep it lit, turned up, whatever vernacular, but whatever your colloquialism is at that moment, that time, that we were intentional and we showed up and we pulled up. And you may forget about us, but you won't forget about him.
And now even with the partnership, what kinds of stories are you
You
most?
like that? I saw your shoulder.
Because I'm like, dang, okay, is this the wisdom that comes with just, age and experience?
I like that little shoulder. You give me that little.
It was resonating. It was resonating because you really
Love it.
you're like you said, you're not even preaching, you just talking real, but it comes out really well. But that's why you do what you do, and
Thank you.
you're been successful at it.
Thank you, Queen.
What kind of stories are you most excited to tell through your partnership with Insignia and Three Diamonds Entertainment?
I really love the opportunities to really bring pictures to life. For so long, and I've had moments. I've had moments with Lifetime. I've done Christmas movies for them. I've done some TV shows for BT, Kingdom Business, and different things. Just really excited about just continuing to bring visuals to life, whether they are the background of musical moments or they are the leader in musical moments. But to be able to, whether scripted or unscripted, whether it's biopics, whether it's reality moments, whether it's new content, whether it's podcasts, whether signing people that do podcasts, signing people that write scripts, to be able to just be always looking, always working, always intentional of what can we do next to make sure that that conversation never ends.
And faith-based content, it's always needed, it's always necessary. But why would you say that like right now is the time where, whether it's gospel or just faith-driven narratives should take center stage in mainstream media?
Is I don't want to do faith-based content. I just want to do great content that leads people to faith.
Did it again. Did it again. My last question, what advice do you have for young creatives, especially those of faith, who want to bring their culture, convictions into the mainstream platforms and just might be feeling reservations about how it will be received?
Those reservations are coming from those old dogmas that are entrenched in a lot of times in our ideologies and theologies. And is that whatever fear is showing up in your space, that is the space that you should try to take dominance in. Whatever moments that you're feeling afraid of, that is the place that you're called. That is the place that you're called to deconstruct. Deconstruct every space that fear exists, because that is nothing but just an enemy attack to be able to cause you to not walk in that moment. So if there's fear about this idea, that is exactly the idea. And so the reason why you know it's the idea, because you're not going to be able to do it alone. And so that's how you take your faith with you, because you know without him, you can't do it.
Oh, this has been such an honor. Truly, truly. Again, congratulations. I can't say it enough. Congratulations on the Ultimate Icon Award. Congratulations on your new business partnership. New music, Den of Kings. I'm going to be tuned in.
Thank you.
And I'm really looking forward to sharing this with our audience here at Black Enterprise, because we're all for it. We all for it, especially Black men coming together in leadership. And you already were even just teasing, there's going to be opportunities for other people to be elevated, whether they write scripts, they have content ideas. So this is what it's all about: building, ownership, community, working together, and supporting each other in love and light.
Queen. Thank you, Queen.
Check out the video channel on blackenterprise.com to find The Culture Shift and other shows from Black Enterprise editors, writers, and experts. Be sure to subscribe to The Culture Shift on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or SoundCloud. And if you like what you hear, show us some love by leaving a 5-star review and spreading the word. This is Jeroslyn Jovan with The Culture Shift for Black Enterprise. Thank you for listening. For more than 5 decades, we've had your back. The Culture Shift and Black Enterprise have everything you need to elevate your excellence.